so many crabs within that container. And the competitive world, the competitive living, rather than the cooperative. You remember the two kinds of living, the cooperative and the competitive. So the hedonistic goals of the modern human being have become these two: positions and possessions. The more higher positions you get and more possessions you have, that's how people are now regarding that, yes, this person is successful. Look at his position. Look at his possessions. Fancier cars, more gadgets, more amenities, luxuries. In fact, coming from Mumbai, I was discussing with some families, and they were saying that you are judged based on your home address nowadays. Where is your home address? If you give your home address, and if your home address in Mumbai is not, you are not located in the posh locality of Mumbai, they look down upon you. I don't know about how things are over here, but in fact, husband and wife, if they want to come together, boy and girl wants to get married, these are some of the considerations. I was talking about strawberry ice cream yesterday. These are some of the considerations that, where is your home address? How big is your house? There was one marriage, after the engagement they broke up because, the living room was not big enough. It was just 3,000 square feet. The girl's father wanted it 5,000 square feet. It was just 3,000 square feet, I was wondering that, what do you want to do? 5,000 square feet living room? क्या कुश्ती खेलना है? क्या करना है? What do you want to do there? So, can you imagine the kind of values which people, are considering as so important in their life? So, herein, we get carried away as well. We get carried away when, we meet people in a get-together, in some party, or just, at our workplace. We keep looking at what? Oh, so you have the latest iPhone 6, and that too iPhone 6 Plus, and the other person looks at you. You are still with the Nokia? Huh? What is this? One of my friends, he was mentioning this, that he was traveling to Austria, to Vienna. The capital of Austria is Vienna. He was traveling to Vienna. And somehow his flight got delayed, so he had to make a call, to the people who were about to receive him at Vienna, that, my flight got delayed. And he had the latest, iPhone 6. And so many apps in that. Nowadays these cell phones have, so many apps that you get confused that which app is for what, and there is one app nowadays in iPhone. It's called iMala. You can do your mala in that. So there was a person, he saw that he was using his cell phone, the screen, and doing mala using that. There is an app called iMala. So this friend of mine, having his sophisticated iPhone 6, so he wanted to make a call. And to his dismay, there was no network. So his sophisticated phone was of no use because there was no connectivity. There was no network. And then he saw, just in front of him there was an old lady sitting, and she had a run-down old Nokia phone. And she was also making a call, and she was talking to someone, and she was speaking for more than 40 minutes. There were no fancy apps on her phone, but she had full connectivity, full network. So my dear friends, the point which I am making is, so our life might be like iPhone 6, very sophisticated, with all the apps, all the softwares and everything. But if there is no network, what is the use of that phone? The main purpose of the phone, it's designed for that, and all other things are additions. So in our life also, there are things which are added on. But if we are not properly connected with each other, there is no proper connectivity. Even if our model is like a rundown Nokia phone, but if there is proper connectivity, then yes, that gives real happiness amidst human beings. But seldom we find like that. We find that yes, everyone's life has become so sophisticated, so appealing as far as the looks are concerned of the model, but then the connectivity is not there. Not even a single bar. There are bars of that connectivity, not even a single bar. So therefore, no communication is happening. At this point of time, again, it's our video time. I'd like to show you a small cartoon. It's again on the lighter side, but the point which we are making, the hedonistic goals of positions and possessions. Many times our condition is something like that. We desire, we expect, we hope, we work hard, we slog. And sometimes we even get it. But at the expense of what and what time? and in what condition. So therefore, we have to again define and keep redefining our goals. That why am I here? Who am I? What is the purpose of this human form of life? These are the questions, like just before the seminar I was asked this question, that yesterday we were talking about the 6 instructions given to the pencil. So what does this instruction mean, sharpening the pencil? So this question was asked. What did I mean by that, sharpening the pencil? And I was making the point that this discussion which we have been having for the past 3 days, sharpening, and it's not easy. It's not so entertaining, to talk about these philosophical aspects of life, to go so deep and talking about the miseries, the stress, the problems, and what should be our ideals and ethics. And people generally, they just want a very light discussion when they get together, especially weekends. Something very entertaining, something very light, something which is gratifying to the senses. And these kind of heavy discussions, oh my God, it goes on and on and on, and it begins, like you keep looking at the clock and it's just 1 hour and 1 hour more, and there's interactive and video and examples. It's okay, but then again it comes back to the heavy points. It's sharpening going on, just like the sharpening to the pencil is not very appealing to the pencil. It's cutting. It cuts through the wooden portion of the pencil. But unless the pencil goes through that, the real value of the pencil will not be seen, won't shine forth. So now, I have an interesting question for all of you. We all have appeared for some exams, some or the other, some exams in our school, college. This question, what does it take to pass any exam? What are the things required, or what is one thing which is required to pass any exam, a serious exam, I'm saying? What do you need? Determination. Huh? Confidence, determination.
A good understanding of the subject.
Hard work, good understanding of the subject.
Ability to apply the knowledge.
Ability to apply your knowledge, yes. You are all very right, very right.
Attend the exam.
Yeah. Yeah, attend the exam. Yeah. How about a pen? Is it required? Yeah. Require a pen. Might sound very silly. Now, that's what I wanted to focus upon. Pen. Now imagine if, a student, if he's told, that to pass this exam of yours, you require a good pen. Good quality pen is one of the most important elements to pass this exam. And this student, for the whole year, he simply focuses on that aspect of passing that exam. Which aspect? Procuring good quality pen. And the whole year, the only thing he does is, he keeps procuring pen after pen. Why? Because after the whole year, this is the most important thing which I should be having. And he enters the examination hall with what? With loads of pen. Sounds silly? You think he'll pass? But we just agreed upon that to pass an exam, to have a proper pen is very much required. It's very much essential. My dear friends, yes, pens, these are compared to the possessions in our life. What we possess, what we work hard, what we possess for ourselves. Say our house, our car, the amenities and all of those, the bank balance, the money and everything. These are all like pens. For the student, yes, it is required that he should have good quality pen to write that exam, but more than that, he should know what to write with that pen. Is it not? What do you all say? As you were all, sharing that yes, there is determination, there should be the understanding of the subject, confidence, so on and so forth. And at last, you didn't even consider pen. Your first considerations were what? But in life, sometimes opposite happens. We focus so much on pen that we lose out the focus of what we have to do with those pens. We so much focus on money, we so much focus on the possessions and the positions that we forget, and seldom do we focus on what do we have to do with that. Money becomes such an important factor in a person who is just having those hedonistic goals. Like, this was some years ago. I was reading a book in our library. Karl Marx. Have you heard of Karl Marx? So Karl Marx, I was reading about his take on money. So he was writing, one of his writings, he said that according to me, by hook or by crook, one should have money. Beg, borrow or steal, just have money. Why? Because if you have money, then you can have all your goals fulfilled. And he was quite specific. He had his specifics written down. And it was quite interesting. So he, according to his philosophy of money, he writes that if in this world, if you are ugly, if you are not good looking, then you won't attract other good looking people towards you. So he gives the logic, beauty attracts beauty. If you are beautiful, you will attract other beautiful people. This is the logic of beauty generally. And then he goes on to say, but doesn't mind, even if you are not so good looking, even if you are ugly, but if you have money, you can still attract beautiful people. So you can defy the logic of beauty by just procuring money. Sounds appealing. Sounds realistic also. We see people sometimes, with their money, they can buy beautiful people to have in their lives or to enjoy. So that was his, first understanding. So even if you are not so good looking, if you have money, you will still attract beautiful people. So hence you are beautiful then, according to that logic. If you are not so educated, not so well educated, but if you have money, you can have educated people work for you. Subsequently, you are educated. If educated people are working for you. If you are crippled, if you have money, you can have able-bodied men work for you. Again, you are not crippled. So, what he's trying to say is that somehow or the other, if you have money, you are beautiful, you are educated, you are not crippled, you can fulfill whatever dreams you have. So that was his take on money. So beg, borrow or steal by hook or by crook, that was his mantra. Just become wealthy. Just have more and more money. And this is something, because you have money and you go out and you use that money, you get things, you get yourself gratified, you get instant enjoyment, readily available if you have money. And that gives you faith in that. But when you come for a session like this, we are not promising you instant gratification. It's not like instant coffee or instant soup or instant noodles that you mix some hot water and here your meal is ready. No. You have to listen, go through these sessions, and as I said, you have to apply in your life, and then if you don't apply properly, you won't get the proper result. And still, even if you apply properly, it's gradual. So anything which is gradual, people, they don't find that very appealing nowadays. Because nowadays, people are into instant. Everything has to be instant. Give me a magic pill. Okay? You are just going on and on and on for the past 3 days. Just, don't you have a magic pill, just something very concise. Just give me that one fixed pill. I have it. And yes, my stress is gone. My depression is gone. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm fulfilled. I'm just what I want to be. No. You remember Saint Francis? I quoted him. You remember? Saint Francis said, if you want your dreams to be, go slowly but surely. Do few things, but do them well, and gain heaven's glory. So yes, I am not against positions and possessions. What I am trying to tell all of you is know what to do with your positions, how to properly use your position. In fact, we read in our scriptures also, in our Vedas, we had personalities like Duryodhan, and we had personalities like Yudhishthir Maharaj, a righteous person. So always you will find, the righteous and the unrighteous. So the unrighteous, they want to, demand respect because of their position, just like Duryodhan wanted. And personalities like Yudhishthir, they commanded respect because of their disposition. Not because of their position, but because of their disposition. So that is something which is valuable. The mad consumeristic philosophy is something which is what we had to confront with. The first is, I work in a job which I am not so happy with. Tomorrow is Monday. Yes. Have you heard of the Monday morning blues? How you feel Monday morning? Or forget about Monday morning, as Sunday is passing by. The dreadful feeling that tomorrow I have to go and work. I have to go to the same office, under the same boss, the same stereotyped, hackneyed work which I have to do. How many of you really feel ecstatic? Wow, it's Monday. I'm going to see the beautiful, charming face of my boss. And you swoon in ecstasy, just the thought of going to office. So yes, we have to confront this every Monday, every week, every day. We have to confront. I work in a job which I hate. To spend the money which is not there in front of me, sometimes taking loans, sometimes just plastic money. It's all plastic nowadays. The smiles are plastic. The relationships, everything is plastic. So, to spend the money that I do not have. What else? To buy stuff that I do not need. How much stuff? Going into these supermarkets, these huge, big malls, and you find practically you become more confused than when you entered inside before. That just to, I was discussing last time, just to buy one toothpaste. Now, how simple is that act every day of ours to brush our teeth? But there is a variety of so many toothpaste, and we get confused. We, just to brush our teeth, we are stressed out. which one to use just to take a bath, which soap, which bathing material I should use. You know how this mall culture started, what do you call over here, mall? Supermarket, how it all started. I was discussing with some of our devotees that in America, this was many decades ago, before the supermarkets were introduced. So an average family in the morning, the three basic needs were milk for the breakfast, bread and eggs. They would need these three things in the morning to have for the breakfast. So they would go and get it fresh, in the morning before they would go for work. So now, these shopkeepers, they realize that, we have so much other stuff also which we want to sell to them, but, we don't get to show it to them. So what they did? Instead of displaying these three things, milk, eggs and bread outside, what they did was they brought it inside their shop. So as the customer would enter to buy that stuff from inside the shop, so he has to first locate the milk. So the milk is the first commodity kept, and somewhere in the middle of the shop they would keep bread, and at the end of the shop they would keep the eggs. So which means in order to get these three basic necessities for the breakfast, the customer had to pass through the entire shop. And they would display in between milk, bread and eggs, they would display all their other products. And the customer is passing by looking at all the other products. So as he's just bought his milk, oh, there is this also, there is this also, there is this also. Let me get this, let me get this. That's how. So to buy stuff that I do not need. Have you heard of this philosopher Socrates? Huh? There's a nice story from his life that Socrates, he was quite famous for having a life very simplified, very simple life he would live. One day Socrates was spotted by one of his friends in a supermarket, kind of. And his friend was very much surprised that of all people, you in the supermarket, what are you doing? You are famous or infamous for being such simple in your life, in your lifestyle. And he was more surprised, the friend was more surprised when he saw Socrates, he was jotting down something on a piece of paper. So this friend asked, Socrates, what are you doing and what are you jotting down? Socrates, he showed that piece of paper and he was making a list of how, as people were buying stuff, shopping around, he would look at people shopping around and he would note it down on that piece of paper. And it said that as people are buying, this pair of shoes or trousers or this and that and all that, I am writing down these things I don't need in my life. And that list was so long. So he was making a list of, as people were shopping, making a list of things which I do not need. So there is the need factor and there is the pleasure factor. So here, the mad consumeristic philosophy, it actually forces us, there is a bombardment on us to buy stuff that we do not need. Finally, for what? To impress people whom I anyways do not love or like. You remember? Neighbors envy, that's my pride. The barometer of success, the more people envy me, the more people are jealous of me. That's how successful I am. So, we are living in an age wherein things are becoming very strange, but they are very much true. Again, I don't get what I really want. And the opposite of that, I get what I just don't want. I don't want old age, I don't want disease, I don't want stress, I don't want all of that. I'm working hard to keep all of that away from my life. But somehow or the other, it's catching up on me.